If you ask 1,000 football players right now on what makes a great forward, some of the most common responses would be speed, dribbling, and good technical ability. This is what Ansu Fati had at just the age of 16. What a lot of players will take years to develop, Ansu Fati just had that it factor at such a young age and a shorter time frame than most players. Ansu Fati's meteoric rise to stardom captured the attention of football fans all around the world. At just 16 years old, he debuted for FC Barcelona, becoming the youngest player in the club's history to score a goal. From there, he broke many other records, including becoming the youngest player in La Liga history to score a brace and the youngest scorer in the history of the Spanish national team. With each game, Fati's star status continued to rise, and he quickly became one of the most exciting prospects in football. Barcelona began to create to what seemed like one of the best youngsters in all European football, and the future looked so bright for Ansu Fati. However, just as quickly as he had risen, Fati's career came crashing down even quicker. A serious knee injury sustained during a match forced the young star to the sidelines, which would be the first of many in his short career. Those devastating injuries not only put an abrupt end to Fati's season, but also cast doubt over his future in the sport. In the last few years, Ansu Fati has had an amount of 11 injuries in just a 3-year span. The most important one of them was in the 2021 season, where he missed a whopping 305 days. All of these injuries all came before the age of 20 years old. Injuries usually mark the start of the decline of players, but I really hope this isn't the case with Ansu Fati, since he still has a lot of years ahead of him. And ever since that catastrophic injury, it seems like he hasn't been the same player, as his injuries now have become more prevalent every time he steps on the pitch. Through looking at some of his injuries, if you were to take average of all the days he has been injured after that big injury I mentioned, he would be averaging 27.7 days per injury, which is quite an absurd stat. That's not even including his biggest injury into the equation of my calculation. He truly has been a victim of bad injury after injury, maybe really unlucky at best. The confusing part is, when he is not injured, he hasn't been as effective as he once used to be. I feel like that critical injury truly changed his confidence and his abilities on the pitch. I know that as long as he is under the wings of great players at Barcelona, there's no way he can't improve each day. The only thing that concerns me is who knows what this might mean when it comes to the playing time on the pitch. Currently, there's a lot of competition for the attacking positions with Dembélé, Rafinha, Lewandowski, Fernan Torres, and many others. If he truly wants to be a starter under Xavi's team, he will have to be more than exceptional in scoring goals, good positioning around the pitch, and other aspects that a forward needs at Barcelona. If we look deeper into his stats, Ansu Fati this season has only been able to score 3 goals and has assisted 3 in just 24 matches in La Liga. As much as I would love to make an excuse about the number of injuries he has had this season, there is no excuse for these performances. In the Copa del Rey, he has better stats all around the board. So far, in the competition, he has had 2 goals in 4 appearances, making a total of 5 goals and 3 assists in all competitions this year so far. These stats aren't bad at all, but for his standards, that isn't good enough for a player that should be in his peak years right now. This isn't what many people expected him out to be. Even his market value has dropped to a new low, with him being worth now a shocking 35 million euros in this weird inflated market. Even decent-sized players are worth more than Ansu Fati right now, like Jonathan David, Ivan Toney, and Mikel Oyarzabal. And he still has so many years ahead of him, so I don't really quite understand why he is valued that low. Is there something that I'm not catching when looking at these reports, or is it something else? At the peak of his powers, he was worth close to 80 million euros, a 43.75% decrease from that highest point. I really just hope that the people at Barcelona give him enough chances. I wouldn't even care that this meant that he went on loan to another team to get back to the way he was. I think that him doing that will gain him the confidence he needs to be a world-class player again. This also would help him play against smaller competition, which would give him the experience he desperately needs. This is just a suggestion, of course. Ansu Fati's career is a reminder that football is a sport full of uncertainty and unpredictability. Despite all the unknowns surrounding his future, fans will continue to watch and wait with bated breath, hoping that Fati can overcome his injuries and fulfill his potential as one of the best young players in the game. Fati's injury history has made him one of the most confusing players in Europe. On one hand, he has shown immense potential and promise, with his impressive goal-scoring record highlighting his skill and talent. On the other hand, his injury history raises concerns about his ability to stay healthy and consistently perform at the highest level. Despite the setbacks, Fati remains a hugely important player for Barcelona, and his absence has been felt by the team. Whether he can overcome his injury troubles and fulfill his potential remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: Ansu Fati's career will continue to be watched with interest and curiosity as he tries to overcome the confusion and setbacks that have marked his journey so far. Now, the question on everyone's mind is, will he ever play regularly again with Barcelona? Will Xavi give him enough opportunities to blossom, or will Xavi not have the patience to do it?